with, I forget the name, but I think it means crime scene in the street. And a couple people put in some links already for tracks. So we'll take a listen to a couple of them to start it off while I'm giving my intro spiel, and this is one of mine that we're listening to right now. What the hell? Oh my God. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Everybody in the Thanksgiving universe, hope you had a good time doing what you do. Paul Robinson, yeah, okay. I sort of said hi to everybody in the chat. So what is this all about? If you're watching us on YouTube or wherever, we're doing track feedback from people in the Track Feedback Crew, which means we share links inside Discord in the Mixitecture Discord server. I pull out the tracks from genres, house, techno, chill out, ambient, hardcore, whatever. And then we go through and we talk about 3 elements that we want to identify. Number 1, sound design. Number 2, song structure. And number 3, the mix. For sound design, we want to hear something original, like sounds are moving, or something that sounds like a person is tweaking the sounds to make them do something cool. For song structure, we want to hear a climax, building up to a peak where there's something dramatic, and then it drops a beat. And that could be any genre of music in the world, the most smooth ambient meditation music or the hardest stuff. They all have to have some kind of progression that takes us through time. And then for the mix, we just got to drop some bass, and hopefully we'll have some stereo image, we'll have a balanced frequency range, we'll have nice dynamics, something that's easy to listen to on any different sound system. And the point of track feedback is to listen to music and basically identify, okay, here's a couple spots where maybe you need some help to change a couple things. But even more than that, it's really fun to hear what people are doing that sounds awesome in different genres and stop and ask the question, how did they make the music feel like that? What are the elements that build up, or what are they doing to make this vibe, you know? And sometimes we count how many layers it is, or we count what's happening in different moments in the music, or we just ask, like, how did you make that sound? So this is what I love about track feedback. Got people chilling in the chat, and I love seeing everybody hanging out and all that. This is a track called Fog Rising that I made a while ago with that feeling of like calm water with a cloud on top of it. And I want to let this play through because I actually really like how this one feels. Not released, it's been mixed. Got my trusty coffee cup. And of course we got the Ableton Spectrum up. I really like being able to identify what's happening in the frequency range of a piece of music. Happy December, I know, right? That might be a little too much in the mid-range right there. Thank you, Matt Schultz. Shepherds does not have a track for today. DJ Waters. It sounds like a DJ Waters bells. Forgot about that bird at the end. Cavernous reverbs, right? Jeez. On for a little while more. Nice long chilled out dub. This is definitely like a Boards of Canada feeling influence of like this, like long ambient intros in space and stuff. Doing the 80s Tom spill. We got Tom Mavis, Mr. Melvis the Pelvis. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put this in for the chill out competition and see if I get this, or not the competition, but the compilation. That's the word I want. Birdies. I think I got that from when the BBC released their library of free sounds from sound effects and recordings. And I was like, ooh, I'll put that together. And just for a quick little ear cleansing experience, a couple other people put in chill out tracks. So let's hear a little bit of what other people are submitting before we get into the actual feedback. Whoa, this one's kind of loud. My track, because that was an unmastered version. Mine was not so loud. So here we got Scott Burke, Canada. Ian, no, that's a flock of birds. I programmed them to fly outside your house when I play the track. So you should look out the window. I forget if I know I've heard this track before. I forget when this came through feedback in the Facebook group. And I was like, ooh, Scott Burke dropping bass. Look at this. Yeah, Canada tracks are always kind of loud. I think he just does his own mastering with some plugins and gets them up to kind of broadcast level before posting. I like the sound of the guitars in here. I love the low end bass. Beats are nice and crisp. There's reverbs and stuff. So maybe let's not do a full review of this because I'm not sure if the person thought this is a finished track or what. But I just wanted to play through a couple of examples of things that people are posting and make sure everybody has seen the Chill Out compilation channel. Here we go, Covert Acoustics War on Wednesday with tons of SoundCloud tags. This is about 6 minutes. Let's see what we got. That one's doing something weird. Look at that. When I put the mouse away, the file disappears. I don't know. Okay, this is me pushing up the broadcast level. So far, the Canada track and this one feel like they would go together. Almost like the sound of like an airy strumming kind of thing, and then some low end bass and some percussion. More birds. Let's jump ahead and see where this track goes. That's a nice deep impact, right? That feels like a low kick with some reverb on it. It's really good that it doesn't happen too often. And another quick sample at the end. I like ambient tracks because they kind of don't really do a whole lot. The beat is the beat. The synths are the synths, and you just kind of stay in the track for a long time, and then little visitor sounds come and go on top. Kind of like Matt Schultz with the dub techno. It's like you got the groove, you're in a space, and then things are flying around inside the space, but it's not a lot of like hard sections divided up like a house track or something. Yeah, nice percussion. Fade that down, and who do we have over here? Oh, we got Mindbender. And a different take on Chill Out. That's me pushing up the level. Oh shoot, Todd, I missed your track on new releases. That was cool. Nice look at the low end here with no beats. Those vocals are cool. Getting some stereo happening. Electronic dub, yeah. Whoa. They're weird sounds. I mean, good weird. This is gonna be great. I think if we get a compilation coming out of downtempo chill out beats, it's gonna be like quality tracks. Morton from 92. All right. Yeah. Still sounds all right. Let me close those out so I remember that we played them. Okay, so let's jump into new stuff. Speaking of Morton Mindbender, this track has a nice story behind it. So there was a gig that got canceled, and instead of going to the pub and getting drunk, these guys jumped directly into the studio, Robert and Morton and maybe some other characters, and decided to have a jam session and turned out a track. So when you got production skills and you're familiar with your gear, you can hang out and jam and have some random fooling around fun and also turn it into something that's quite listenable. So let's take a listen through this. Gonna get a little bit of lyrics later on. And I'm gonna mute my phone.
Well, they say ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I think I want something to live. But I'm blessed with too much knowing. And now it's really showing. Seems the longer I'm around, the more bored I get. I feel I've seen it all before. I'm sure we should have evolved by now. Can't be the only one, but I'm sure. So tell me that you see it.
The vocals sound great.
Please tell me that you see the way.
Right there in the middle.
'Cause I can't be the only one. Who knows it's got to be this way.
And the bass has a buzz that's kind of matching the grit on the vocal. The vocal's a little buzzy.
And reach out for my hand.
Acid Blues. What?
I will save you from the light.
Sorry, I don't want to compete against that. There's something really cool happening in the texture where the bass line has a scratchy high frequency part that's a little buzzy. You can hear that. And then the voice has something going on that sounds a little bit like burnt, toasted, fuzzy. So can you tell us, Morton, what is going on with the vocal effects? And
yeah, I'll take you to the promised land.
Did you do that on purpose, or was that just how it worked out? Yeah, Moog sub 37 with a phaser, harmonizer on the vocals, and live tambourine. Yeah. And that bass line. Riser going up. Oh shit, I was expecting to drop.
Look into my eyes.
Caught me lit.
Reach out for my hand. I'll protect you from life. Take you to the promised land. Yeah, I can't be the only one. Ooh, it's opened up my eyes. Yeah, so come get around. I'll teach you how.
Okay, the harmonizer that fits with the detuned bass line.
It's about the choices that you make.
Ian Waters, please apologize to Mrs. W for me for causing so much trouble.
You better come correct, don't
Leading
come
to your
fake.
deviance and distraction. I love that, the groove with the vocal going on a delay. Like, come here. Big old clap.
They tell you to understand.
I'm gonna skip forward a little bit.
You under, you have to be a winner.
I want to get that tambourine coming in.
No, you don't have to lose all the time. Just try and do the right thing, and you'll see a change in time. Yeah. So look into my eyes.
Todd Mavis, can you send me a Facebook message with the link to your track? I want to avoid opening Discord again, but I'd like to play it if I could. So if you get that, please send me just a private message with a link so I can grab it real quick.
We all deserve this feeling.
Yeah, it is like a vocoder effect. So is this just like one evening? You guys were chilling out for like 5 or 6 hours or something? Or how was the...
Now, this is so appealing. Yeah. Let me show you that I can.
We could do a whole interview on this story. Alright, let's check the ending here.
I'll take you to the promised land.
That voice is so clean. It's like a dirty sound, but it's presented really clean up in front in the mix. The Mindbender bottom end, that kick drum at the end. Look at that big round kick drum curve. Oh, here's our remix. To the Promised Land. That's a cool track, man. Nice job with that, especially for a random hangout session with a jam going on. It turns into something like that. I mean, how many people have done a random jam hangout and you're like, you hang out for like 6 hours in the studio, everybody's like partying and stuff, and you get like 90 seconds of music that's amazing. That's like, oh my God, what do we do right there? And then the rest of it is like, oh. I've had that happen. Okay, next up. Dimutech, James Sargent. I'm not sure if this is an update, so let's go on to the next one. Oliver added a vocal, worked on some of the main lead levels. Oh, a Pultec EQ on the kick drum. Get out of here. Let me get off screen share for a second. Now I'm secretly grabbing the Facebook link. I want to make sure I don't show you guys any. Nice, nice. Many windows. If anybody wants to build me an app that has a SoundCloud player and a Ableton Spectrum, I would love that. Oliver, this sounds great right now. This sounds like a track, like done. So, new layer on the clap, some reverbs, 909 hi-hats, shorter, more like a shaker, okay.
Turn the music up, just grab some body, get loose in the club, and get wild in the party, till the sun comes up, all night no sleeping, just can't get enough, so we live for the weekend.
Yes, totally. Let me just roll back. After the live for the weekend.
Just can't get enough, so we live for the weekend.
Right there at 204. I might say this every single time, but a little bit of a high frequency sound like a crash. In this case, I think a small like a China or like a splash crash cymbal, like psh, like a little tiny short one or some little high sound, just like a little bit of sparkle on the top at that moment.
Just can't get enough, so we live for the weekend.
Tiny detail, but it could.
Just can't get enough.
Sax sounds good. And the groove and everything, that little loop. rhythmic breaks are always my favorite parts. Okay, that ride is coming in. This is great. It's like opening up. I feel like it's a loop. You know, it's really repetitive, but we're still adding energy in this part. The sax is not too much. I can feel it's compressed, but it's in the right place for this music. Like, people react to a solo lead instrument like that, so I think it's fine. And then it's gone right here, so we're back in the groove. Filter, right, yeah. That was good that you filtered down the background harmonic loop to make like a little bit of a change, because at the end of that section, after the sax dropped out, that loop was just going. So a low pass filter was a good way to create a transition.
Turn the music up. Just grab some body. Get loose in the club. And get wild in the party. Till the sun comes up. All night, no sleeping. Just can't get enough. So we live for the weekend.
That's that great drop. And I think I asked you about it last time, how you got the voice so loud. It was like compressed in a group of sounds, and when everything else stops, the makeup gain just pushed that voice forward. I believe that's what you said. Oh, I like that lead that came in here on top. Little string sound on the lead. Yeah, man. Old school club, late 70s disco, maybe. Get some roller skates on. I love those double kick buttons. Those double kicks, so good. Those just make you happy when you're dancing. Boom, boom, boom.
Can't get enough.
I think that lead element could be a little louder. That real like high.
Can't get enough.
You could pull out that top line a little bit louder. Oh, perfect. Yeah, nice and quiet. We got into the deep kind of part of it, bass and drums. Yeah, this track is solid, man. I think the dynamics are okay overall. I can feel it pulsing. I can feel it hitting a limit, but it's like, it's like coming at you. I don't know, it works. It's a style. Yeah. Got the message. Yeah, this, it sounds done to me too. Playable. And the low pass filter shutting it down. Oh, we were talking about that drum beat groove at the end. Yeah, the really like the only things I would want to change at all, I pointed out, I think 204, a little bit of a splash, like, you know, whatever. And around here at the end, that the highest pitch synth line could be a little louder. That note up there, but like even an octave higher than that. Ian, should we call a doctor? Maybe. Well, let's find out. Yeah, Oliver, nice job, man. I think one more revision, and that'll be ready for mastering. So let's see what Todd Mavis has been up to. Whoa. I should have played this right in the chill out group. Oh, Matt Schultz, good comment. Keep more of that dynamic range, but that's subjective. Possibly. I mean, Oliver, maybe you could back off on the mastering compression limiter, send it for mastering with somebody who does a bunch of house that's like this, and get the. This is where you'd really want the multi-band to be in the right way so that the kick and the low end are like doof doof, and the top end is not as squished every time the kick drum hits, basically. Or in other words, if you're watching and you don't know what multiband compression is, it means you don't have the same type of dynamics on the whole frequency range. You split it like the lows and the highs or something, or even the mids, so that you don't have the kick drum triggering compression that makes everything else quiet on the top end. Where are we going? Oh, big sweep. Yeah, this is ambient for sure. So Todd, what instruments are you using in these synth layers? I like the background, like floating loop, sort of. It's like, it almost sounds like an old film projector running in the background. Like, a little bit like Tubular Bells, like Oldfield, 5 miles out. Pure ambient, not going anywhere. Well, a nice big slow filter sweep, that's an event when you're doing ambient. But the delay works for me. Let me skip through a little bit so we don't. And it rolls down. This is cool. To me, I'm imagining like, you know, exploring underground with a flashlight or something, like looking around in the dark. Yeah. But hey, nice mix of the frequency range. We have something happening in the low end, which means you can play it in a chill out room at an electronic party. The sound quality is cool. The sound design, it sounds, you know, I'm wondering like what instruments did you use? And there are some subtle events happening, coming and going. So it basically does what you need to do for music. Little bit creepy. Yeah, that's cool. Put that in for the compilation. So we did Mindbender, got that one to wait. All right, is Caesar here today? We got Donats. Let's go to Partycore. Speaking of in contrasts, we just had total ambient. Now we're gonna go to, oh, Todd, thank you. Okay, so wavetable, operator, omnisphere, and contact. Spell that with an I, not with a U. Oh, and DJ Waters, here we go. All right, the Waters test. If I put the volume like this because that sounds right to me for the voices, what's going to happen when the kick drums kick in? So far, so good. Perfect. Nailed it. Ooh, that was nice and wide. Is this exactly the same mix as Wednesday or Saturday last week? Okay, about done.
I'm coming. say break it up, you two. You think you're the only ones at this party.
Okay, that guy needs to be a little bit louder. This
You two, you think you're the only ones at this party.
that little dude needs to be a bunch louder. That's funny. I like the grinding and the buzz and everything. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna take down a little bit of the. So you can hear me. I'm gonna take down a little bit of the mid-range, the high end of the mid-range. So that's probably up at like, is that 3K, maybe around 2K or 3,000. A little bit of that really crispy buzzing part. I'm gonna pull that down a little bit so that it's not too shrill at the place where layers are stacking up. Right here. You can cut that down and make it a little more listenable. Oh, and then the choir in the background makes the whole thing for me. 205. Sorry, Shepherds. And that's a cool melody too. Bum, bum, bum. And the melody's still in the background. That's cool. I like that melody part. Down, boom, 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 boom. She's moaning at 273 hertz.
I suggest you freshen up.
That was lovely.
And that was lovely voice.
That was lovely.
Make the that was lovely louder. Because all this moaning and groaning.
I suggest you freshen up.
That was lovely.
That lead melody. Bow, 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 bow.
I could feel it coming. I just let it come.
And one more time for the people in the back. Uh-oh. Yeah, kick rolls are nice. We could call it done. There's two little voice parts that could be a little louder, but you know. And once again, DJ Waters bringing it from the beginning. I'm really happy that I can set the volume, hear the opening, and kind of be like, wow, there's something going on. And then doof, 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 it kicks in. And then the second kick drums come in, and all the layers are really working. That spectrum line where it's like a flat line, like doof, doof, just totally maximized on the levels. Telling a story with the tracks. Uh-oh. That stuff's ridiculous. Anybody else, if you're watching and I didn't get to you yet, let me know. Let's see. Okay, so Caesar is here with This Feeling. I think he's at work right now, and he just got a tattoo of a bumblebee. So we're going to check this one out. We got another one from Donats, and that might be it. So here we go. Reset EQ. And same question, if I have the level like this, where's the kick drum going to kick in? I'm going to put it up a little more, I think. I should play this next to Oliver's track. Shepherds, I agree. The bleepy synth, we could use a little more, but whatever. Okay, I'm getting ready for some beats to come in now, right? Ooh, I like that top layer. kick drum and bass line feel good. Something about the percussion feels like it's rattling a little too much. Like there's a little fast delay on the hi-hats. You guys hear that? It's like clack, 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 clack. Yeah, timing lag on the piano. Like there's it doesn't, the open hi-hat stuff and the sync is not like super crisp. Sounds are all there though. Kick drum, bass, piano part, lead, another lead. It's like 6, maybe like 10 channels of sound so far. We don't know how many hi-hat layers. Group sex. I like the feel of the harmonic parts a lot. The bass line, the beat, and the pianos, and that lead. Those are all cool. It's just the hi-hats are kind of feeling loose and clattery on this, so if you could tighten those up, we get a nice crisp, like, to get that real, like, crisp kind of house beat, like top loops, you know? A lot going on in the center, maybe that's what it is, yeah. This feels like a drummer who's, like, loose on the hi-hat, like, I like that crash, though. That's good. I like the hand percussion that came in too. And we got an 8-minute dub. Let's jump forward and see what we get to. Is this new? Mix 3. It feels like that breakdown section came a little bit unannounced. I didn't count the exact section to get there. So this one has a really cool harmonic cycle, and the sounds are good quality and stuff. The drum action is something I would work on, and then the structure to get the sections, like, so it leads you into a build-up in a section and then drops at when something happens. Somebody's tweaking the arpeggiators. Opening up the filters. I like it when people just play with the sound, like pure sound. Oh, Min is here. Hey. It's cool how that vocal faded up from underneath the arpeggiator. Okay, that crash is early. And then I hear some hand percussion popping up. Those conga hits are a little loud. Ooh. This is cool. I like the interplay of the arpeggiator with the drum rhythm. Ticka, 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 ticka. Makes it fast. Yeah, this is cool. Muffled kind of electronic piano sounds with a fast arpeggiator going together, and then the disco strings on top. Cool harmonic thing. So I'm gonna say the strength of this track is the harmonic ideas and the loops that are playing. The kick and the bass are in really good shape. The harmonic parts are fit together really well for the instruments that you chose, the chord progression, and how the layers are fitting in. Really, the drum section is what I would work on mainly to get those hand percussion things together volume-wise. Like, I'm not sure how you have your session set up, but if you could make a stereo group and have all your drums going in there and get a little bit of compression happening on there, not to like squash it, but just to use as like a way to measure the level of every sound coming into that stereo drums group, and then get your hi-hats, whatever was happening at the beginning with these. Okay. It almost sounds like double taps on the open hi-hat. It's like click, 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 click. You hear that? The clap is cool. That's a nice little disco kind of thing. Whatever's happening with the hi-hat it sounds like the hi-hat has either a drummer hitting each hit twice, like a flam, or a fast delay, like a 30 millisecond delay with no feedback, just like but it makes it sound clattery and loose and not like crisp, bringing you into the beat. So the main things I would tighten up are the drum mix, the drum micro timing with that little delay thing. And then when you have that together, use that as a base for laying in the drums throughout the track so that we have sections that are kind of defined. Like over here, we had a crash come in kind of out of nowhere. And that, I understand that could work as an announcement and then the beat drops, but with everything else sort of unfocused, it feels a little bit just like crash by itself. Then the beat comes in. Oh man, Mark Troy is busy. What are you doing? You're opening a restaurant or something like that? I have no idea if I'm in outer space with that idea, but I got the concept you were opening some new project. Never mind if you don't want to talk about it. We're happy to support anyhow we can if you are. Maybe cut out the arpeggiator for the drop could help a little bit, but I like empty drops. Yeah, structurally it felt like the intro was a little too long and this main dropout section was a little too long for almost everybody in the world except me, because I like purely electronic sounds. I just enjoyed listening to this sound. You know, it's like if you're hanging out like and you just listen to it and you hear it change and tweak over time. So people who really like electronic sounds, this is a cool thing. But for dance floors with house music, it's spacey and long, and you better have a really good light show going on to like keep it going. And then it could use a little of a transition sweep, like whoosh, something coming in. And the vocals are cool. And I'm so happy with that bass line and that deep kick and bass combination. Whoa, 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 whoa. So it's working. You got all the parts for a really cool deep track that has, it's in between a deep house bass line and then it has some like disco kind of strings and stuff on top. So that's a really good combination. Dinats, Night Freak's brand new track. Let's see what the Dinatster is doing. All right, Shepherd's, good idea. Maybe some 4/4 percussion to keep the pace a little heavier on the clap, and like could be some hand percussion loops. Dinats with the classic bassline bouncy things. Whoa, Maxime. Weddings, restaurant, business meetings, hotel rooms, and a sound system. Good luck with that, man. That sounds cool. Ooh, this is good. What just happened? Roll that back. Here's intro. 2, 3, 4. just a crash and a new hi-hat, and all of a sudden we're in business. Let me pump up this master level a little bit. Watch yourself. The one thing that Denats does is particular to his style is the bass line bumps are coming in between the kick drum hits. You can even see him right here popping up. And that makes it so easy to mix low end because you can have the two bass, the kick and the bass elements sharing the sub frequency, and they're not happening at exactly the same time. So it's a lot easier to fit them together. Yeah, big summer Mixitecture party with all of us playing in the garden and arriving on like magnetic levitation hover cars. Just like float in. Or an airplane, but let's think big. Oh, this is a cool breakdown. Hang on. Okay, I would cut that snare out. At 202, cut the snare. Because a little like echoing thing, that is so cool. You can leave the hi-hats in, but cut that snare so we have an emptier space. And then maybe here, cut the hi-hats out at 217 and just let that echoey sound go. Ooh. These blips, man. Perfect. Transition riser coming back in. Oh my God, hold on. So if you cut the hi-hats out, those little bleeps are gonna come forward more. And then this riser could be a little louder right here. And that little reverse crash a little bit louder. Now we're back in the jam. One more time without Steve talking. This is solid shit right here. All right, new element coming in, I hope. 1, 2. Yeah. A lead, that was perfect. Whatever that is. That actually sounds like a distorted electric piano over here. Perfect, just after like 8 bars, it was getting a little dull, needed a new sound came in. Fulfilling subconscious expectations. Wait, did you hear somebody in the background going, Right there? Where's Adam Hatfield? We need some answers. Totally, like bouncy, keep you going. Subtle things come in and out to change, keep it interesting. Looks like we're gonna have a break coming up here, so let's see what that's gonna be. Maxime, can we do like a psychedelic garden party with a lot of plants and flowers and video mapping light, and then have like bass music? That's what I would like to see. With some hammocks. Need a hammock. I really like the way that the sound design element of this is using voices as percussion elements. It just gives it this human thing. Okay. Okay, so the transition sound, the riser sound needs to be louder in here. The reverse crash is okay. That doesn't have to be super loud, but that thing that's going, the pitch riser, it works so well to pull those to the front. Especially because the kick and the bass bump in really loud. So on a big system, you don't want the riser to get lost when the floor is like, hurt. Now this part is in the position of the song where a lot of times we have that bass and drums dub. I feel like we're not getting that simplicity and emptiness right here. It's still kind of very similar to what was happening before. So right there, 536, I would cut out some of these vocal percussion things and let us have like kick drum, bass line, and beats in that empty breakdown section. Well, it's not a breakdown, but it's just like the empty like ending thing. And just for a comparison of texture, meaning how many sounds are happening all at the same time, let's skip through minute by minute and just ask the question, how many sounds are at the same time? What's the width or the thickness of the track? Not width in terms of stereo width, but frequency wise, like how full is the frequency range at all the different sections? So intro, right away it tells you it's a kind of staccato bass line, so that's cool. That actually feels like what I was describing with bass and drums only. Thinner, like minimal. So, and then here it's getting more drums. That was a great build up. So there's some more mid-range percussion harmony. Thicker. This section feels like the most stuff going on at once. So after this drop, if this little bit after that breakdown, if that's exactly the same kind of feel as what was happening before, it can be a little... It can be a little bit like predictable, like there's a drop and you're waiting for something new to happen, which what I would recommend is go one of two directions. Number one, add a new high frequency element like that string drone or like a lead thing that's on top and you're like, oh my God, a new sound, how cool. Or if you don't want to build it up anymore, cut out some of the mid-range sounds like the little keyboard buzzy sound or the vocal chop things and give it like a drop of emptiness where it drops in like, whew, oh, big space. And then by doing that, you make a different texture than this part that was right here before. And I think it'll actually add to the track if you cut out some layers in this ending section. This is more like it, kind of thin it down right here. This is cool. This feels like mix out. I like that thing. Where is that? And the mix out. Out of curiosity, you haven't been to a club that plays this genre? I find that hard to believe. So do people dance in like a bounce style, or would it be, for example, a 3-hour set of that beat? That's a really good question, you know, because when you're making music for an audience, you need to know what they're expecting, what they're planning on doing, and how they're going to react to the audience. So yeah, people definitely get a 3-hour set or more of that kind of beat, meaning tempo and feel. And their dance styles, I don't think there's like a specific dance move for this kind of genre, but it does have that kind of, like some people in the back are holding the drink and doing this, and then there's people in the middle that are doing whatever. Yeah, I like the outro. Always bouncy tracks from Danette's. So Adam, what I would do is work on something in the timing from about 449, the 16 bars after that drop, I would thin it down sooner, right? Cut out some of those mid-range elements sooner and make the ending of the track feel emptier. And my favorite way to do that is to bring one of those little things back in and just unmute it quickly and put it into a long delay. So one of those, be like, That way you have one of the mid-range melodic or harmonic elements visiting on top of the empty bass and drums part, and the delay keeps it going, makes it interesting. It's a new form of that sound, and you don't hear the same exact loop of the same exact sound in the same exact way as you did before. I feel like I'm being super critical about that. It's a great track. This is not a huge problem, but just something that would make the ending section better. OSP is the one standing and tapping with the toe. You know what I do at clubs is I walk around. I get a beer, get to know the place. I walk around to find the place in the dance floor where I like the sound the best, because there's always a place where there's one corner where there's way too much bass, like, and then there's a place where, I don't know, sometimes there's really good sound in a place where there's too much traffic, like by the bathroom, and then you just like everybody's coming in and out. You're like, what the hell? So I basically go by where it feels right. And you know what's annoying for me is when you go to a club with the DJ on this altar and people stack up in rows like at a church and they're all facing the same direction visually watching the DJ. Like if you turn around and look at that when you're dancing, it looks like these people are like frozen. I don't get that at all. Like I've horizontal rows of people at a club. I'm like, dude, that's not what I do. Or have an LFO. All right. So a recommendation from Shepherds, or have an LFO do the ADSR envelope, making shorter or longer. That is super cool. Yeah, for a sound design parameter, ADSR envelopes are really, really fun to play with because it makes a subtle change. You hear a sound that's already in the mix, and you hear the sound morphing and doing something that keeps it interesting over time. So it's much more fun than slapping on a reverse crash or a white noise riser that everybody's heard a million times. Good recommendations. It is 1 o'clock and I am out of new tracks to play, which is cool with me. I like doing 1 hour feedback sessions because I have this feeling that a lot of people who watch the replays, maybe 1 hour is more manageable than 2 hours. And something that's going to be coming up is adding yet another track feedback day. So maybe we'll do 3 days a week and start getting into genre-specific feedback. I'm really going to work on growing the Discord group, getting people from Facebook over to Discord, getting more people involved with it so that we have more music and more in different styles. I would love to do a house and techno, a day for house and techno, a day for trance and hardcore, faster stuff like D&B trance hardcore, and then a day for chill out ambient, down tempo, non-genre beats like electronic jazz or whatever else people are doing. So we could have like 3 separate feedback streams that are kind of genre specific feedback. I think that would be kind of fun. Talking about DEF CON Club. If anybody has any questions or if I missed your track, let me know right now because I got a second to grab them. Let's check out the Grown Out of Minimal remix. This is another one from Caesar. And we're going to skip forward while I'm waiting for comments to come in. By the way, thanks to everybody who joined us during Black Friday. If this is your first feedback session or like Min the Universe, the second, I just scheduled an interview with Min. We're going to talk about the usual questions of why do you make music? How do you make music? How has music... Really the main thing is transforming your life in some way. So it doesn't mean getting rich and famous or being like a top name producer. The people I like to talk to are people who just have something going on where music is like a fundamental part of life that you just have, you don't have a choice. You just do it because you have to do it. So I like exploring those questions. Anybody else watching, get in touch if you're willing to do an interview. Matt Schultz, got to get you scheduled. Oliver, if you want to. Shepherds, if you want to. Paul Robinson, I think you left. And definitely Mark Troy. All you cats, the regulars. I want to interview each one of you if you're open to it. Talk for 45 minutes or an hour and just talk about where do you come from? How did you start? What gear do you use and why? And also the deeper levels of things like what were the challenges you had to overcome to stay in the music? Not the challenges of making the music, but just the challenges of life that take you away from your studio. Like how do you deal with that? Because that's something I know everybody struggles with, me included. Doing my laundry, washing my dirty breakfast dishes, and getting studio time together. Yeah, this mix sounds great. What did I miss? Great remix. Let me blip over to Discord on my other machine. Got it. Super deep. So we started with chill out. We're ending with chill out. I guess that's gonna be it for today. It feels like fast to do a 1 hour. Set a meeting together for January. Okay, Maxime, gotcha. Yeah, that'll be good. And we have so this month in December, I got Min the Universe scheduled and Genie Paraverse. So the Universe and Paraverse. So that might be the only 2 interviews for December because I know people get busy with the holidays and everything. That'll be really fun. We just talked to James Sargent, and man, I have a lot of exciting things coming up. I'll make some more announcements when we're not at the end of a live stream, but basically, for a quick preview, what I'm going to do more of is taking my own tracks, using them to teach a weekly workshop on sound design and song structure and mixing, and just show you how I make the music, what elements I use for effects racks or instrument racks, share some of those as presets, show them in weekly workshops, and then share the finished track to say, here's the track, here's how I made it. Thanks, Min, for talking me through this idea. We had a good chat about that the other day. And that way I make more finished music and I get to share the fun parts about the ingredients of it, like the process of it and things like that. Shepherds, see you in Discord. Min, you're welcome. And we're waiting for an update on that last track from you, especially the ending section with some of those percussion layers, extra hi-hats. Cool, I guess I'm gonna fade it down. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. I really love seeing you all and hanging out. You know me, I'm gonna go hop on my bike and go for a bike ride, even though it's getting cold out. Put on my hoodie and gloves. DJ Waters, please behave yourself. I'm just kidding. And yep, see you in Discord, everybody. Have a fantastic, legendary Wednesday. I hate stopping the music. It's so hard to go outside when you have to turn off the music. Still struggle with that.